Who is the new first-time home buyer? How much do I have to make to buy a home in the DMV? How do I buy a house without being house poor? Is it possible to buy a house without being house poor? All questions I'm going to answer today. I'm Jamiah Howard, your favorite realtor, and if I'm not, I should be, and I know. I show a lot of pretty houses, and everybody loves that part. But pretty houses cost a pretty penny. So today, we're talking money. There is a lot of advertising out there for all things home ownership. No down payment programs, low credit score entry points for pre-qualification. There is so much out there. The goal in buying a home is to secure something that's your own, that you can customize to your liking, and to set you up for financial success, not financial distress. So today I'm going to be talking about the minimum amount of money you should be making to realistically afford something in the DMV. In the DMV, you should be prepared to spend at least $3,000 a month on a mortgage. $3,000 a month translates roughly to around $400,000. Now, these are all estimates. The numbers will depend on your personal profile. $400,000, you're thinking in some places condos, smaller townhouses, maybe a single family, but chances are it's going to need some updating, some fresh paint, fresh carpets, maybe some new appliances. This is what I consider a starter home in today's market. And not because it's cheap, but in a lot of places, it's the lowest price that you can find something livable. Now, condos are a different story. Yes, in a lot of cases, they are priced much lower, but hundreds of dollars worth of condo fees usually balance out that payment to some degree. Now let's talk income because this is where people get it wrong. A lot of people in this industry will tell you take your mortgage payment, multiply it by 2, and that is your gross income that you need to qualify. I'm here to tell you not to listen to them unless you want to be house broke, poor, poverty, pockets bleeding, foreclosure. But just because you qualify by a lender's standard doesn't mean you can actually afford that house. Nobody wants to buy a home just to only be able to own it and do nothing else. I'm going to give you my formula to own more comfortably at a $400,000 price point. This is not the end all be all. This is just my personal recommendation. Take your mortgage, multiply it by 2, and then add $1,500. This is the minimum I recommend that you make to afford a $400,000 house. And whatever monthly debts you have, you're going to add them up, then add them to that number. So we're taking our $3,000 mortgage payment, multiplying it by 2. Now we're at $6,000. Then you're going to add $1,500. And then if you have any debts, say you have a $400 a month car payment, you're going to add that. And now you're at $7,900. That is the minimum I recommend in order to have a $3,000 mortgage payment. But without factoring in any debt, that puts you at a $7,500 a month gross income. That translates to about $90,000 a year. So in short, this is what I consider a first-time homebuyer income in today's market. That's why we're seeing a lot of people rent for longer, combine incomes to purchase a house with somebody else, because in a lot of cases, $90,000 is not an entry-level salary, but it makes it quite hard to save up for buying a house when your rent is barely less than a mortgage would be. I think that people need to adjust their expectations. As we know, based on the political and economic state of the world right now, things are getting more expensive, okay? And it's looking like it's going to stay that way. So the only choice we have is to adapt and keep moving. Also, I'm going to add in something quick about credit scores. Technically, in a lot of programs, you only need a 580 credit score to qualify. But if you don't have any money for a down payment and you're going to be looking for down payment assistance, you're going to need a 640 plus or higher most of the time. Now, if you don't have a dollar to put down on a house, if you don't have a little bit of money, you probably shouldn't be buying a house. But if you do have some savings and you want to buy, I recommend having at least a 620 credit score going into the process. So in short, if you're making 90K or more a year, your credit is 620 plus, and you have a little bit of money saved up to purchase a house and you're interested, you might be today's new first-time home buyer. I'm Jamiah Howard, your favorite realtor, and if I'm not, I should be. If you're interested in buying a home, click the link in the description to schedule your free consultation today.